Hey guys, welcome back. I didn't think it'd be this soon, but it looks like we got some more violence going on at the old card shows. I get it. There's competition. You're competing with one another, but need I remind everyone that there's never a good excuse to be threatening people. There's never a good excuse to be getting violent with these people. It's silly. You look stupid, and not to mention the fact that you can get yourself in a lot of trouble by doing so. Not only, removed from the event, removed from future events, but also in terms of legal and or law enforcement that can happen. A lot of bad things can happen in a fist fight. Yeah, I know it's wild. As a kid, maybe you don't realize it. Maybe you're throwing some knucks around, throwing the old knucks. But as an adult, maybe you should come to realize that, hey, if this person falls, hits their head, heaven forbid, dies, and or is seriously injured, there are some serious repercussions. It should never get to this anyway. It's supposed to be a fun thing. I get it. The people that are there, they're there to make money. They're trying to vend. They're trying to make a buck, whether it's their main gig or side gig. Still, regardless, keep yourself in check. You're adults here, even though sometimes we don't act like it. Now, let's see what we got here. We have the Fairfield Card Show, June 28th through 30th. I didn't think it'd be so soon since the last violence incident, and it seems like they get more violent each and every time. We have a couple juicy clips that we'll take a look at here, but I guess this is a little reference back to the previous one. If you haven't seen this video, do check it out. If anyone knows who was involved and what any more to the story on the one that we're taking a look at today, please do let me know. And I am young. Reach out to me with the clips and with a little bit of information that we'll go through. For some context, before we watch the clips, we had a fight between vendors at the Fairfield Convention. 2-card vendors, Pokemon/Sports, Solano Town Center. It was, my apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It was pretty spontaneous, so it was a lot of shouting from one of them telling him to come outside, and security got involved. He came back and threw down some of the stuff the other guy was selling, and also a big fan of the channel. It was my second card show I've been to. Reminded me of some of your videos you posted previously. Yeah, it's weird that it's happening again. It's wild that it's happening again. Let's take a look at the clips. And again, if anyone has additional context and or if the people that were involved would like to reach out to me, please do. I'd love to hear what the justification and or if it was like a, hey, I shouldn't have done that kind of scenario. I would think that that's usually what it is. Again, if things got heated, it's still no excuse, but hopefully there's some kind of like realization that it's not good for anyone. It's not good for yourself. It's not a good look for anyone involved. Video time.
Nigga, this shit's bad enough on YouTube. Oh shit, nigga. Oh shit.
Maybe I'll get a zoomed in version of the clips too at the end of the video. What else we got? So there it is, and it does get violent, but it doesn't seem. It seems like a lot of posturing. It seems like a lot of like tough guy kind of attitude more than anything else, because they were right there next to each other. The second clip that we just watched was when he came back and apparently knocked some stuff over at the other guy's booth, which is, again, it's other people's property. I'm sure it's a large enough card show that the two of you can avoid each other. You don't have to interact with each other. And again, we don't have the entire story, but if the two parties involved would like to tell it, I am here to listen, and I'm sure other people would love to know what's going on there. Regardless, moral of the story is, please, for the love of God, don't get violent. It's Pokemon cards. It's sports cards. Be real, be professional. I know there's a lack of professionalism within, I guess, everything to do with Pokemon, whether it's eBay sellers, whether it's people on, your selling platforms like Whatnot, which is an absolute disgrace to the community. Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about community here in a little bit. I'm going to get your take on it. But first, I'm going to thank everyone for using the link tree, for using the discount codes. Save yourself some money on some awesome places to shop anyway. Or, you know what? If you're shopping on the old eBay or Amazon, give that a click before you do. Support the channel in that way at no additional cost to you other than the few seconds to come on here and give it a click. Much appreciated. This is the reason why I am able to publish what I want, publish all of this bad boy content, especially with the scammers. You know damn well the scammers like to false flag the videos. So whether or not the video is optimized for the most amount of views, that's not important. The most important thing here is that we spread the information that people need to make sound decisions, and to protect people in various ways. So much appreciated. You guys are the best for using the old link tree. Awesome stuff. So now we have a thread here, and I planned on making a dedicated video to this, but I think it fits in pretty well. So the up for debate here is the for the community kind of tagline or phrase, and I'm going to give my take on it prior to reading through a few of the responses to the thread here on E4. But essentially, anytime I hear for the community, I know it's not always everyone's intention, but I hear it so many times, almost every time, in regards to like somebody trying to make themselves sound like a better person is typically how it goes. And that's why like the community, the C word, it just it's gross. It's the amount that it's abused by people that are just saying like, oh, I do giveaways, I'm for the community, I do it, I'm doing it for the kids and shit like that. Typically anytime I hear that, I'm just like, it has, I just have a terrible connotation between that and the fact that like usually I'm going to hear it from like somebody that's scamming or doing something or wronging people, and that's their like justification that they did so much for the community that they're off the hook, or that they couldn't possibly be a scammer or doing something or wronging anyone else because they're for the community. But let me know down below what you guys think of community. Do you say community, or are you grossed out by it like I am? Every now and then I'll be like, somebody will come up to me and they'll be like, oh, Rattle, you're so good for the community. And I'm just like, ugh, please don't say something else. Say that I'm a cool dude or something. I don't even know. Call me an idiot. I feel like it's better than the community thing. I just hate it. It's so tainted. It's so damn tainted. So here we have SM Pratt saying for the community is a death sentence for businesses. And so this is more in reference to like them pricing or them being like the upset customers, or the expectations of customers that are not realistic, and the Twitter mob or anything that's going to get pissed off at a business that's trying to make money. Take it into consideration. There's two sides to everything, and know that the businesses, they have to survive, and know them giving you a sick nasty deal on something that they can make money on, just because you claim to be part of the community, is a whole nother problem. I did a call with an LGS owner who recently had to close shop. A big part was listening to the complaints of the community about modern pricing, so they lowered their prices to appease the complaints. Now, as most people know, many sets are below distributor pricing, so small stores are screwed. However, if this person would have captured the actual market value on the more popular sets, they would still be afloat. I think this is entirely true. I think also people that have the expectation that like a local game store that has a brick and mortar that has to pay the bills, they have to either pay rent or whatever building that they either built or purchased. They got a mortgage on it maybe, and then also the lights, and to have everything in there, and inventory and employees and internet, and there's tons of overhead involved. So expecting them to sell at the same price as somebody that's doesn't have any of that stuff, doesn't offer any of that stuff, is not fair. And your expectations, adjust them accordingly. And that's the thing too. There's an extreme to that. There's like supporting small business, which is good. Always can do it when you can and when it makes sense to. Now, if it's double the price on something, I totally get it. If you don't want to purchase that over somewhere else. I also think that there's doing that to a fault as well. There's like, if you're going out of your way and you're purchasing from the sketchiest, no name, never heard of it before, just popped up within a year, Shopify site, and the prices are too good to be true, they're probably too good to be true. And you're probably not going to get your stuff, and then you're going to have to go and hopefully you used a credit card, and hopefully you can get that money back, or you used PayPal, and hopefully you can get that money back, and you're jumping through hoops and everything else to save a few dollars on a box. Now, if you can, just pay the extra few bucks. Support where you can, do what you can. You can still get good prices from game stores and everything like that, depending on whether or not you're in there. If you're in there and you're using the facility of a local game store, if you're in there, you're playing games, maybe they got some Cheetos that you can purchase, and you're helping them out that way. You pick up a few products and everything else. If you're mass opening, to go in there and buy like the marked up product is clearly not the best option. But again, if you're using it, you probably should be. I'm not saying go out of your way to find a store that you've never been to, that you don't know, that you never use, and pay extra. I mean, I'm sure they would appreciate it, but make choices. Do what you got to do. But again, don't complain that there's no LGS or there's no like place to play if that's what you're doing. No place to go pick stuff up in person. There is like the instant gratification tax as well, so take that all into consideration. If it's things that you like, support what you like, or the things that you like might not be there anymore. Anyway, I just felt bad for this business and thought it would be a good unpopular opinion topic, as it's one of many who listen to complaints from people who don't care and just want to save money on cardboard, regardless of how it affects the community. Right, so that's the thing. It's just, the game store also doesn't owe you anything, provided you're not like there and you're running tournaments and you're there all the time and you're buying from them all the time, and maybe. And at that point, they're probably going to give you a good deal, I would think. But also the expectation that they're going to just like sell at MSRP when something's like crazy expensive, they can't get enough of it, and they need to make money somewhere. And these recent sets, like the Scarlet and Violet stuff, we got game stores that are ordering it because they need to keep up with distribution, or distribution will give them a spank on the fanny. And unfortunately, it can be their downfall, because if they're ordering stuff and they can't sell it to at least break even or make a little bit of money on it, break even is bad. You're spending time and effort and everything else and then for a game store, break even might not even be the same price as the other people that are dumping this stuff. Now, if they don't have the overhead to be able to sit on a lot of it, the amount that they need in order to appease distribution, the whole distribution system is pretty flawed to begin with. Them kind of regulating who gets what and everything else seems like, I'm kind of surprised that Pokemon doesn't have their own, but at the same time, if there's other, we won't get into that. Let's get back to the community talk here. We have PFM who says, I think there's a larger point here about community in general. This might be a heavily North American perspective, but with the internet, I think it affects everyone. My opinion is that the way we structure our social iterations has obliterated any meaningful idea of what community is. To break it down simply, a meaningful community has constant exposure between members, a level of trust and reliability between members, and members having mostly aligned interests and goals. So I think maybe this is like the level of trust and reliability is like kind of, that's why it's abused. The saying that like, oh, I'm part of the community and I'm doing it for the community kind of thing is kind of like it's like a shield, or like I couldn't be doing anything wrong here. The way we structure our lives is actively counter to all these points. The goal we are sold is to move away to some mostly remote piece of land that is separated from everyone else. Even in my condo building, the same vibe persists. I've been there for 2 years and don't know the name of a single neighbor. Internet spaces are similar, since we all live in our own curated feeds from large generic platforms. This fuels a level of distrust because we don't know the people around us, and we default to distrust of the unknown. We are also intentionally being agitated by social media algorithms to outrage over anyone that fails to meet a purity test that puts them in a particular polarized community. The fracturing of societal groups makes it extremely hard to accomplish anything that will benefit everyone, because everyone is for mostly themselves and refuses to make any kind of compromise for the greater good. I think that's for the most part. I mean, I think you see that a lot. The people that are doing giveaways are saying they're doing for something. a lot of the times they're doing it, if in even YouTube is a prime example of this. If people are doing something or doing something good or giving something to someone, if you're making a video about it, how much are you doing it because you wanted to do something good for someone, and how much are you doing it to like give the perception that you're a good person, that sort of thing. And the giveaways and the stuff like that, like the motive behind it, there's clearly like a benefit, like a self-serving reason for a lot of that stuff. So if you really were doing it for the community, wouldn't you do it and just never mention it? You'd never like make content out of it. You'd never bring it up at any point. I that's like one of my biggest pet peeves is like somebody that will do something or give something to someone, but then they bring it up later. Like what? You just completely nulled all the good deed. The good deed is ruined at that point. It's tainted. It's gross. It's like the use of community, or the word community. Above is my opinion, but if you agree with the overall premise that there is a loss of any meaningful idea of community, then I think it makes sense to why doing something for the community is a death sentence, because the community in question is a loose network of individuals without any significant ties. A meaningful community would not ask to buy below Walmart prices. They would go out of their way to pay a few extra dollars above Walmart prices. Walmart prices are pretty bad, typically, unless they're, well, I guess in the States they're a little bit better, but here in Canada, like outside of like the pandemic, you should be going to the game stores, because the game stores are probably offering it for less than Walmart price, unless it's like marked down, discount, Black Friday, something or other. Again, could be a little bit different in the States, but or depending on what game store and how much they have it marked up. Because they recognize the value of the LGS brings to them, and their goal would be aligned with the survival of the LGS. And it cuts into the other way too. An LGS owner typically isn't opening up a store to serve the community. No, it might be something they love, and it probably is. It's probably like a passion project. They are serving their bottom line, of course. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They're a business. They have to survive. If they have to close the doors, then like there's no serving the community at that point in time. Like they're offering something. It's hard enough as an LGS to get by, to make enough money to get by. So people pressuring them to sell for less money. Again, different business model depending on how it's set up. If you're only selling online, if you have an actual facility, and then depending on your volume, like it all kind of comes in. If you have employees or anything like that, obviously there will be exceptions, and it's not bad to make money, but it's pretty disingenuous to say your goal is to serve your community or whatever. 100% agree. Anyone that's operating a store, you're doing it for profit. Or anyone that has a channel, a YouTube channel, anyone that has a platform of any kind that is claiming that they're for the community, so they're giving away crap, or they're pricing it accordingly, so because they're for the community, they're full of shit. Do it off camera. Do it without mentioning it to anyone. Do it without mentioning that it's for the community or anything like that. Again, sometimes they get caught up on that, and it's just like, oh, I think just the general perception that there's a community, or general like constant mention of it, is what leads stores or leads people into saying like, oh, I'm for the community, guys. The actions are fine, but when you start like, the more you kind of stroke your own community ego, the more you kind of bring it up or talk about it, is the more I'm kind of thinking it's kind of fake. Anyway, the main point I'm making here is that we have this outdated concept of what community is, and it's being applied to very large networks of people with very loose ties. Now, I'll say that, but the people that I respect the most are the people that are doing honest business. The people that are they're upfront, they're honest about what they're doing, what they're selling, and that's it. Not the people that hide behind selling gambling mystery boxes. Not the people that are like looking to con anyone out, or like constant examples of people just screwing people over. Because there's tons. There's so many ways for people to make money in Pokemon and sports cards and whatever type of cardboard they want to sell, what they want to sling, but it's hard work. So oftentimes, maybe in times like after the pandemic, you saw a lot of people were doing some shady things because their expectation was that they were going to make free tendies, We saw it on Whatnot with all the people that all of a sudden there's rigged gambling all over the place. Now, there probably also was during the pandemic, but it was less necessary, I guess. So if people are making the money anyway, are they going to get, they might get greedy and they might rip people off regardless, but kind of shows. So the people that I respect, the people that I believe are, if I got to use the words for the community, are the people that are doing honest business. So like Z&G pointing out the fact that there was somebody that was shelling their stuff on their platform and sending their items back and saying like, hey, this person is wronging people. That's what I think. Now, did they give away anything? No, they didn't. But they were honest. And they put the community's best interest by doing that. They didn't have to do that. That was a hassle for them to do that. There was potentially backlash from the person. There was potentially backlash for... They kind of put their own neck on the line a little bit. And to me, that's more valuable than anyone saying that they're going to give away a booster box or they're going to give this and that and that they sign things for people or just ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, I totally hung out with all my fans. Just stuff like that. It's just, what? Sounds so warm and friendly, but what is really being said is for the network, which is probably a better translation of what is actually being implied. The network does not care whether your business survives. You are only as useful as your benefit to the overall network. I think honesty, and I think showing that you're honest and you're contributing, whether you're selling or not, it doesn't matter if you're selling or not. If you're an honest seller, whether it's auctions, whether it's anything like that, upfront and honest and transparent, and have proven time and time again that you're not looking to rip anyone off, that you're not going to short anyone, you're not going to like take advantage of anyone on that stuff. That's where the true value in anyone that is in the hobby, in the community, whatever you want to call it. I think that's where the valuable members are, and they don't get the shot. They don't get the spotlight very often. Doing honest business over a long period of time, proving yourself to be a trustworthy person, not selling out for, taking a shady deal from anyone that is, kind of been banished from the community already. Stuff like that. Showing that you're going to do the honest thing no matter what, whether it's in your financial best interest or not, is the valuable thing. All right, here we have Pratt again. I agree the term is misused and is just a means to an end. MSRP is a good example. MSRP is only brought up when a set is popular and more valuable. No one is complaining right now, paying below MSRP for all these new sets. That's the thing. Though, like the game stores, if there's any time to support the game store, it's probably with the new sets. And even if they can break even and they can move the amount of product that they need to, purchasing from them instead of somewhere else is a huge help, and they truly appreciate it. Now they're going to price it accordingly, what they need to in order to pay the bills, but it's a grind. It's a grind out there. It's not. There's a reason why distribution just stopped taking anyone, because it was free tendies. The pandemic was free tendies. You got Pokemon cards when they came out, free tendies. Immediately money up the butt. You were limited. All the stores that were there to be stores that were stores before got their allocations cut because there was 75 billion people that wanted to have distribution. Now people are like, oh, I don't want distribution. I can just buy the boxes for cheaper than that. But now when we get another increase, another little boost in the old I don't know, another boost in popularity, something else happens where Pokemon is, super sought after again. It's going to come in waves. It's going to happen again. And then all of a sudden, everyone's going to want distribution. Everyone's going to, want the packs, the boxes, the products for, again, you never know when it's going to happen. Popular set, popular something else happens outside of it. Hopefully no more pandemics. Basically, the slogans for the community, or think about the children, mainly appear when someone isn't getting what they want. 100%. All the people that are like, oh, my kid couldn't get this PSA 10 first edition Charizard. It's just like, come on, your kid is probably just, or my kid couldn't get Evolving Skies. It's probably they wanted Evolving Skies, and they're kind of using the child as your child probably doesn't care. As a kid, as a former kid, I think kids in general, they're probably just excited to open some Pokemon cards. I don't think they necessarily care if it's the set that you think is most valuable, that you think is most sought after, or whatever. They're probably just going to be excited to open it. Why didn't you open it when it was available? It's still available. I mean, Evolving Skies, the whole like vending machine, people buying at the vending machines and people buying all the Evolving Skies and stuff like that is just, oh my God, it's insane. All right, we have Niece here who says, I agree with some of your sentiment and some of PFM's response. I feel bad for this LGS mostly because seemed to feel a need to sacrifice their business for community. I agree that at least here in North America, there's a general collapsing of the ties that create community. I think this is like a lot of the people that are kind of like pushing for like, oh, this store is bad. They're scalping. These are scalping stores. They're charging more than MSRP for this really sought after product that they can't get very much of. So there's a lot of that. A lot of the people that are pushing that narrative, that are going for that, they're either doing it because they want cheaper product themselves. And again, once the product is cheaper, they tend to not even want it anymore at that point. So there's part of that, and there's also part of the fact that they don't realize that it's a business and they don't understand how businesses work. It's kind of what it is. I mean, even the businesses within Pokemon, a lot of them are not very business savvy, because a lot of it is people that, you know, even in the pandemic, you really saw it. They're not smart business people because they have no tie to business. They just all of a sudden became a business because it was profitable to sell cards. Or I don't know what percentage of game stores fail, but it's got to be high. Again, it's like somebody that thinks that getting into that is just like it's going to be all sunshine and rainbows, but it's not. It's difficult. You're going to spend a lot of time. You're going to make way less than minimum wage. You're going to go through ups and downs, and the downs are going to be really bad, and hopefully the downs don't take you under completely. It is a growing problem and has been growing for decades. The pandemic only highlighted the issue. True. I'm an optimist. It's easy for me. I'm in a demographic that gives me privilege. By that, I mean I have funds to live comfortably in a nice place and experience little discrimination. I like to believe that true community still exists in small pockets. I mean, it depends what you're kind of referring to. I think just trying to say that like everything is community, the entire thing is a community, is disingenuous. But for example, I live in a place that when I go to the local grocery store, I know people and they know me. Folks say hello, make eye contact and smile even to those they don't know. Help each other out during storms. Keep an eye out for those that may need help in the neighborhood. Most of the local businesses are more expensive than Amazon, yet people choose to shop local. Yeah, I think it's a good way to support each other, to support the people that are offering something. It's an experience. Some people like to shop in person. Same way some people are going to want to get their cards in person. Same way people are going to want to go to a game store because they can check out what's new. They can see some stuff that they maybe haven't seen before. They can see the cards, touch the cards, maybe flip through a binder as long as it's in an area or in a store that hasn't been ripped off already by somebody running away with the binder. Maybe not for everything, but for enough to keep the local shops running. Yes, it's like living in a pallet town, not a real place. Yet it is real, and I play an active role in making it what it is. Since this is about conversation, I think part of the conversation should be about personal responsibility. How do we be different? How do we create community in our own lives? After all, it is the only thing we have control over. I don't know. I think like there is some like you got to make sure people are held accountable. There's not like the false positivity. You don't want to go down the false positivity route. And I think even on this channel, like I would love to do more fun content. I'm doing quite a bit of fun content, but also just I don't want to be false positive, like, oh, everything's good, the community is it's the best place, it's so safe out there. If there's people that are wronging other people, I think that we do have to make sure that is known. If there's scams and everything like that, yes, it might be a grim topic, but we should cover it. If it saves a few people from getting scammed by the same thing, in a similar way, I think it's worth it. All right, let's do one more here. We have Dragon Warrior who says, it annoys me when people give into the community. on stuff like this. Community doesn't run the business. To me, doing stuff for the community is hosting events, having enough tables and seating for people to hang out, make sure the bathroom is clean. That is how you take care of a community, not to try and compete with online stores with lower overhead costs. People are too greedy these days and don't know how to treat local businesses anymore. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's, yeah, but I mean, making your business successful and making it something fun for everyone is like in everyone's best interest. Now, does that mean like selling stuff at a loss because, some angry dude doesn't understand that you're a business and you need to pay for all of the stuff that's listed off here? It's tough. It's tough out there, and hopefully you guys find your own communities. But surround yourself with the people that are good for you, that are doing good things. Encourage others to do good things, and yeah, just I think the whole thing is, there's a huge difference between calling someone out for a store scalping or whatever, and actual bad actions that are not just like business related, that they need to make money, so they're going to have a certain price on stuff, is a lot different than someone that, if they're taking pre-orders that they don't have allocation for and they're canceling them because they're taking it as a loan. That's a whole different story. And then at the same time, a lot of the stuff that where people are calling out the game stores, a lot of the customers are just as bad, canceling pre-orders and stuff like that, if they can find a cheaper price or anything like that. I mean, pre-orders aren't as big of an issue now. I mean, if you still want to pre-order, you can pre-order, but you probably don't want to do it too far in advance unless they're not taking a payment beforehand. But yeah, I think that the whole community thing in general, it's usually false positivity, a shield to say like, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong here, a false sense of community, or that they're a good person. That's just my takeaway from it. That's why I'm always kind of like grossed out when people say the word. But yeah, I'm sure there's honest people, and when it's used in the right way. But overall, I think if you're gonna be a contributing factor, if you're gonna be good for the community, the biggest thing is do honest business. And even if you're if you're out for yourself, if you're out for making your collection better, and if you do nice things, just do nice things for the sake of doing nice things. It's a good way to make friends, but don't bring it up, or don't try not to use it as do it because you want to do it, not because it's going to benefit you more than it is, the person that's receiving the thing that you're giving them. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. I know there's a little bit of a ramble in the end, but we might as well tuck that in there. We got maybe a little bit more of a positive note on top of the ongoing violence at events and stuff like that. See you next time. Join the Discord if you'd like to be part of that group.